Hello. So this video is just like a review of the simple present. So before we start, I want to ask you, what do you do during the week? What do you do? Okay, so some of you might tell me, I brush my teeth every day. I always do chores. I sometimes watch movies. I do exercise. Maybe some of you would tell me some of those. So, as we can see, all of these sentences are in the simple present. So what's the use of the simple present? The simple present is used to talk about like routines or actions that are repeated. It doesn't have to be every day or every week. It could be like every year or whatever, as long as the actions are repeated. Here are two examples. I take a shower every day. I do exercise twice a week. The simple present can also be for things that are like true, just generally true. Those are, yeah, that's the use. So then let's the structure. The structure, the affirmative one, it's like I wash dishes. He washes the dishes. They use their computer. He uses his computer. We study. She studies. So here we can see that when it's I, we, you, or they, the verb is like normal. Nothing happens to it. But when it's he, she, or it, the verb, we have to add an S. And depending on how the verb ends, it's if we have to change it to IES or just add an S or ES. But how do we know how to add this S to the verbs? So here we have 5 rules. But first, let's remember what vowels are. Vowels are like A, E, I, O, U, and consonants are like L, P, all of the other letters that are not vowels. So we have 5 rules to know how to add the S. When the verb ends in O, we add ES. The second rule, when the verb ends in a vowel and a Y, like a vowel before the Y, we add S. When it ends in a consonant and then a Y, we delete, we erase the Y, and we replace it with I. We change the Y with I and then add ES. And then when the verbs end in CH, SS, Z, X, SH, we add ES. And if it's anything else, the verb is anything else that doesn't fit into these 4 rules, then we just add the S. For, like we said, he, she, it. Only add the S for those 3 people or 3 pronouns. So here we have some exercises, and I want you to add the S according to these rules, according to these rules, add the S because it's for he, she, and it, and all of these are like that. So please add the S. So let's start doing them one by one. So the first one is she go. She go. When the verb ends in an O, what do? We add ES, so it would be she goes. The second one, it play. What do? Here it has a Y, and before the Y, it's a vowel. It's a vowel, then a Y. What would happen there? Plays. It plays. When we have a vowel and then a Y, we just add the S. Third one, he study. What would it be? So here we have a consonant D and then the Y. So it would be studies. We change the Y to an I and then add ES because it's a consonant and then a Y. The fourth one, it says she guess. What would that be? She, it ends in double S, so it would be she guesses. We add the ES. Then the fifth one, she drink. Drink. It would be she drinks. She drinks. It doesn't fall into any of the other like rules, so we just add yes. And then the it would be it falls. That one also doesn't go into any of the rules, so we just add yes. So there we go. But what about the negative structure? When we have negatives, we have to use an auxiliary. So it would be I, we, you, they use do not or don't, and he, she, it use does not or doesn't. For example, he doesn't go to work. She doesn't play chess. And we don't go to school. Here, we don't add the S because for he, she, and it, because does, it already has the S here, so we don't need it anymore. We just do it there. He doesn't go. She doesn't play. And with these ones, I, we, you, they, we use don't or do not. Now for questions. For questions, we also use the auxiliary. So it would be I, we, you, they, we use do. And he, she, it, we use does. For example, does she visit her grandparents? Do they drive to work? Or does the cat like to sleep? Here, just like we said, the cat would be it, so it's also does. And since the S is already here in the auxiliary, we don't need to add it to the verb. It just stays like normal. That's the structure. So here I have one sentence. It's she watches TV every day. How can we make that negative? The negative form would be she doesn't watch TV every day. She doesn't. Here we add the negative to make it negative, doesn't. She doesn't watch TV every day. And then to make it a question, what do we have to do? How would it be in the question form? It would be, does she watch TV every day? Does she watch TV every day? Here, the auxiliary, does she, because it's she, does. Very good. Now the next one. Whoops. Yeah, it's only that one. So, next slide says how often. With the simple present, you can say how often you do things like in your routine. Like 100% always. She always goes to the nightclub to dance. 90% usually. They usually quarrel or fight. 80% normally. I normally go to the gym. 70% often. They often go out for dinner. 50% sometimes. I sometimes go out with my husband. 30% occasionally. I occasionally eat junk food. 10% seldom. I seldom read the newspaper. 5% hardly ever. I hardly ever drink alcohol. And 0% never. I never go to the cinema. I don't like it. So you can just add those to the simple present in order to say how often, how frequently you do those things. And now I'm going to tell you some of the things that I do during the week. So what do I do during the week? During the week, I wash the dishes and I use the computer. So those are just 2 things that I do. Now I'm going to tell you what my sister does. So what does my sister do during the week? Just 2 things. So my sister does her homework and she waters the plants. Those are 2 things that my sister does. So with these ones, we also used the simple present. And that is all for this video. That would be it. So bye.